Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV, and geez, no cap business because I'm brave today, lad. I've got the Italian trim on display, lad. You know, my glasses. Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm here to talk about Mason Mount, a former Liverpool link, quite a strong Liverpool link. I thought a couple of months ago that was going to be the guy, but United hijacked us, getting one back for the Gakpo thing and Nunes. But no, in all seriousness, in United's terms currently, when you have the addition of Mason Mount, I have my questions, but then I also think that United fans are overly scared. So let's delve into all of that business, but this is a Liverpool fan react. So let's start off then. A lot of United fans do enjoy these videos. Like these get the most views on my channel. It seems that United fans seem to really care about a rivals fans' opinion. So let's go into this one. Mason Mount's one of those players for me who I think he's obviously had one or two really good seasons for Chelsea, and I do always stand in the category that he is one of them more over-hated players. Just because he's English, he hasn't got a fancy name, and, people just say he's got legs. And if you want to say that he's the Mo Farah from Portsmouth, that's fine. I like to suggest that he's the Mo Farah from Portsmouth who's got a Champions League and scored in the final. And he's had some big moments for Chelsea, so you can't dispute the possibility that he could do that for United. It's just a tough one to gauge, because if you think about it, United have already got Bruno, they've already got a stacked midfield, and you don't see him starting above Rashford on the left. And you'd like to think, if you're a United fan, that you're going to go and get a striker. And then where else does Mount play? Because Bruno's going to play in one of the number 8 roles. Is it going to be Mount, Bruno and Casemiro? Because as much as I see some of that working, I also see a lot of issues with that. And that's where I stand on the transfer, is that, not that it can never be good, but it's a risky signing. £60 million for a player who's not really played for the best part of 12 months. He's coming into a team which, although stronger, you still don't know where it's quite going. A lot of United fans seem to be questioning the near future of Ten Hag and whether or not this is the type of profile of team that he should be building. But here's the score. He improved you last year, and I suppose you've got to go into next year and believe in him, don't you? And I don't think Mason Mount is a bad footballer. I also think £60 million in today's market for a player like that just is not too bad. But the question that you've always got to maintain, and I do this with Liverpool all the time, is when we signed Nunes, I always said, would this be the player who gets us from second to first? And if we sign Thuram, I will question if that's the midfielder who gets us from fifth last season to first this season, because that's the ambition. So if you're a United fan, what gets you from third to first? Is it Mason Mount, or is it Mason Mount and multiple other additions? Because Mason Mount by himself, I hate to break it to you, it's just not a good signing. The same way that Lionel Messi to Accrington Stanley, although he will do well at Accrington Stanley, he's not going to win them the Champions League. So the point I'm leading to, you've got to build a good, sustainable team around this player. And if you don't do that, then what you're doing is neglecting the possibility of maximising Mason Mount in his tenure at Man United. A few details on the transfer. It's a 5-year deal, 200k a week, so it is big money. In fact, I think it's 250 a week, and it rises to 300k in bonuses. So bear in mind, he has to achieve certain things because people, I hate it when people do the thing like, oh, and he's getting 300k. It's 250. I mean, tomato, I understand, but he has to actually fulfill the bonuses to get the bonuses. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really hopeful that Mason Mount does absolutely crap at Manchester United, as that is massively beneficial to my heart and not seeing Manchester United doing well. But at the same time, simultaneously, it's a Premier League proven player who is good. He's good on his day. Let's call a spade a spade. He's a good footballer. Is he a world class footballer? That remains to be seen. And I don't think we've ever seen Mason Mount play at a world-class level. I think he's played at a good level, but not a world-class level. So that's where I'll question, can he break that gap, or can Erik Ten Hag bring the best out of Mason Mount to a point where he can become this good player to a world-class player? Because that really is the difference. It can be a man-manager for some players, and I think Mason Mount is one of those where if he's got a coach who's going to put his arm around him, then I think you're going to see some prosperous results. But in terms of my confidence on how this is going to do well, purely and solely depends on things like the takeover, future transfers. How are you going to build around Mason Mount? Is this an Erik Ten Hag and Glazers plan, or is this a Erik Ten Hag addition just because the Glazers know they're going to sell the club, but they don't want to be scumbags and not let the player completely stay? I think it's interesting as well that, I've heard United fans speculate that the deal or the takeover is going to be completed, I believe they said or suggested July, or around July. Some United fans have suggested this, and I believe the next time they can do it is in January or something. So if I'm right or wrong there, I only raise it because if the new owners aren't coming in yet, it's interesting to still see the Glazers making big signings. And then if they do stay past the summer, then what other additions are you going to make around Mason Mount? So try and not miss the point I made before. Mason Mount by himself, not a great addition. You need to make more to make that one a great addition. But if you get more players and more additions around Mason Mount, then you can maximise Mason Mount. How are you going to maximise Mason Mount if you've got an ownership who could be leaving, apparently according to a lot of people, will be leaving, and they'll be getting new ownership? It's interesting to me to see that they're still willing to spend 60 to hundreds of millions of pounds on players. But you know, maybe I'm looking too much in the logistics because there's always the conversations about how much money the club makes, and you know, it would be kind of disingenuous for the Glazers just to take all that money for themselves on the way out. You've got to leave it to the club too. So yeah, it's interesting, really is. Good signing, I think. Out of 10, I'll give it a 7. I don't think it's anything major. I don't think it's anything that we sit there and say, oh no, it's not Haaland to Man City. You know what I mean? It's not even what Casemiro was to United. But what it is, it's a systematic signing that if Ten Hag, and you believe in Ten Hag to build a systematic structure, and he keeps on showing the same trajectory of what was a team that finished 6th and then they got them, and he got them 3rd. If he continues that, I believe he can get a tune out of not only Mason Mount, but this team as a whole, because he does seem to be going with the system approach until maybe United get better players, but who knows? Who knows, yeah? But anyway, Italian Stallion Hammers is going to be over and out with this video. If you did enjoy, smash a like, but solely if you enjoyed. If you didn't enjoy it, whether it was the accent, the hair, both are good reasons to dislike the video. Also, if you just didn't like the football and points, then dislike it. But also let me know in the comments down below why you didn't like the video. I didn't like this video because I didn't wear my cap, and I'm looking at my trim now and I'm thinking, you look like a bit of a goth, James, so you probably should have wore your cap. I need to go and get a skinhead. But otherwise, you know, the overall premise, cha-ching, thought I was going to get through a video without saying premise. By the way, let me explain the meaning behind why I say premise all the time. It's important to establish the premise. One thing I enjoy doing a lot in football is you know, debating through topics and you know, current situations that's going on. And unless you have a premise to build off, then you can't get to an established conclusion. So that's why I like to say premise, because you know, it's a point, it's a base to work off of when it comes to discussion. So yeah, I'm not just trying to use big boy words. I'm just trying to become more effective in a more efficient communicator is what I'll say. I like that one more. Anyway, guys, much love to you and your mothers. Have a belter day, and if you don't, then have a belter day tomorrow, because God's willing we wake up tomorrow. That's a chance to go and attack the day again, and that's beautiful. And yeah, man, big up yourself in a world that's tough. You know what I mean? You've got to keep going. You've got to keep fighting. You've got to believe in yourself and recognise that you're more than what you're being told. You're a special person. So I felt like I was told to tell you that. Anyway, guys, Jesus loves you, and I'll see you in a bit.